there are two types of a meditation. Right? One is to develop concentration, or developing the serenity of the mind. That mind is completely zoned in on any particular object. So you are intentionally paying attention to a particular object for the significant amount of the time that you would like to be with it. Okay? And then a second one, and the practice of that type of a meditation is basically leading to the calmness of the mind. Right? So that also leads to the absorptions, different levels of absorptions that you can attain based on your purification of your sila, the precepts, based on your dedication, and also based on the correct instructions. Then you can get that state of the mental state. Now the second one is called a vipassana meditation, which normally translated as insight. And sometimes, although the translation may not be the correct one, but it's acceptable one. That insight. Insight of what? So the insight of everything, everything, and understanding everything as they truly are. And here everything doesn't mean that we are sending our mind outside to understand objects and knowing those objects, but it's about investigative understanding of our own self, mind body, how many types of this mind is classified, or this body, how this body is classified, and how many different aspects are there, and then how these conditioned arises, and then how these are remained and vanishes. So understanding that this is not the permanent entity. The purpose of both, whichever practice we do, it is based on purely our intention as well. Suppose you are practicing the first one, you may have this intention to attain certain jhanic experiences, and you're satisfied with that. It is also possible, and it's also okay. Unfortunately, according to the theory, and also this practice suggests that you cannot gain further insight from it. But however, after attaining those jhanic absorptions, then again, if you are able to flip yourself, rather than staying on those levels, and ability to develop your awareness, which is called sati, and then knowing that I have attained this, so-called jnana. I have attained this, and now there are more to attain further. So when you can develop that mental state, then that also leads to the liberation of further attainment too. And in a way that seems hard, but because of we are conditioned, we like to see the progress. We like to see the progress, and gradual progress. And if we do not see the gradual progress, we feel like something is wrong, and something I haven't done right, and need something to do, like that. So that's why the first way of a practice, when we are practicing in that, gradually we feel like, okay, I have attained this, I have attained that, I have attained that. And somehow I feel like that's not the right, right? Because the practice of a meditation, according to Buddhist principles, you are losing. You're losing yourself. And by understanding that, okay, this is not mine. Okay, this is not the permanent. So you're losing one after another. And that actually the purpose of the practice of a meditation. So that's why I prefer practicing the second type, that is the insight, or the vipassana practice. And in the vipassana meditation, again, the first thing we have to get rid of from our mindset is that there is no fixed method to practice vipassana. Okay, there is no fixed method to practice meditation. This vipassana meditation. It is about the awareness and insight of our knowledge. Okay? So that is changing our understanding of each object that arises, and ability to discern that object, actually leading to the insight. So insight or vipassana is actually the result of the practice. Yeah? So that's why its a translation is seeing things very distinctively, in a distinct way, very differently, and that basically knowing that in a clear way. And in the practice of when we are practicing, what we are doing is whatever arises, whatever arises, we are knowing it. So simply we know it. And that's why it's also known as awakening the Buddha nature. Because the word Buddha means that knower, or knowing. And this knowing is not on the base of what I have read, it's not a base of what I have heard, but I am knowing it, what's happening now. What's happening, what's arising here and now, and knowing it in a clear vision, in a clearly knowing that. So when we know that in a clearly, in a clear way, what happens is that our mind becomes tranquil as well as alert. Another sense, it is also known as the mental state that is awake. So there is a first character, knowing. Second, mind is awake. Whatever comes, aware of that one. And then when we have that, our mind becomes very relaxed, because you are not searching to something. You're not searching to know something. You're not searching to get something. And then when you don't have these mental states, so you are relaxed. So in that relaxed moment, what you have to check that whether my muscles in my brain, are they relaxed? Whether you feel relaxed in the body, in your brain, in the muscles in your brain, and then you can check in your eyes, the tensions in your eyes, and then you can check that how much this pressure you're putting to yourself to attain something or to be aware of something. Now, the antidote for that is smile. Just bring a smile or just relax. So that's another way of looking at it. Let them relax with something like you have to do nothing. And suddenly the mind becomes relaxed, and then it simply releases some form of alertness. And that's how whatever we are coming across, we become aware of that one. So we become a knower of that one. So that's why the practice of insight meditation is to know and to keep the mind awake and in a very relaxed way. When we can do that one, doesn't matter what arises, we simply know it and then relax. That's it. And when we are practicing this way, may seems we do not see the progress, but it's a gradual progress, and also it gradually gives you further insight into it without having any attachment to any form of levels, stages. You are basically getting rid of your identity within that even small steps, which sometimes delusional state may arise in the practitioners, that I am not this one, so I can notice that, and then I do not recognize that as me, so I am Sotapanna, like that. So that state also can arise too. Yeah? But anyway, we are not going that far, but it's just a practice to realize that, okay, this is arising, I know this, my mind is not slept, and my mind is not sleeping, I'm awake, and whatever coming through, I am aware of that one, and my mind hasn't got any tension. My mind is relaxed and aware of that one. Okay? So with this in mind, let's practice meditation. So relax yourself, body and the mind. Be aware of your presenceness here. Let go of everything, but just to be here and now. Rather than thinking this and thinking of that, feel the breath, feel the body presence here. If you feel that your mind is very restless, then you may use the breath to settle it down. And mindfully attending this process of incoming and outgoing breath. You may count it, or you may simply noticing incoming and outgoing breath. An ability to and distinguish between the different breaths that is taking place. And here again, you are not doing things, you are not making it to happen. Having said that, you are not regulating the breath, not holding the breath, but simply watching it as it takes place, as it comes and as it goes. In any case, if you have this a feeling of you are making this breath to function, take away that effort to regulate the breath. And see what happens. And then you realize there's a natural breath, incoming and outgoing. And feeling this breath as it comes and as it goes. The more your mind settled, you experience different varieties of the breath, subtle, coarse, calmer, soothing, relax, or even feel like there is no breath. And no need to name them, just knowing them. Mind is awake, attending to these phenomena that arise and simply knowing it. And again, we are not searching for it. We are not pretending, but the reality, and the mind is simply relaxed. And if you want to develop the further insight in this practice of breathing in and out, when you breathe in, before it comes out, there is very small gap. And after you breathe out, before you take in, there is a long gap. In this moment of a long gap, what's happening? What sort of a sensation that you are experiencing, or where your mind is? And in order not to let this mind to drift away or not to delusioned, you may count how long does it take before I take the breath in. And when you are counting, whether each time when you are counting, will it be the same number, similar amount of a number? Just checking that. Try to notice when you recognize this gap, particularly after breathe out before you take the breath in. At that time, try to notice what is the reason behind taking different gaps, different moments of that gap. And when you take breathing in, what sort of other sensations occurs? And apart from this breath that you are working with, what other phenomena arises? Whether you are awake and ability to know them as they arise or not. And when these arises, whether your mind is relaxed or not, or any tensions around. Let's say the sound that you're hearing.